Breaking news! The absolute biggest threat to your workplace safety, it isn't a broken machine, and it's not a sleepy employee on the night shift. Nope, it's actually the emails you're sending out on a Friday afternoon. Welcome to the Human Error News Network. I'm your host, and today we're bringing you a special explainer report. We're diving deep into what it really takes to detect, prevent, and correct human error before it strikes.
So let me ask you something directly. Are your rigid rulebook safety protocols actually causing more human error? I mean, think about the last major workplace incident your team had to deal with. Seriously, picture it. You probably pour millions of dollars into building this pristine, perfect safety culture, right? Yet, critical mistakes just keep slipping through the cracks. It's incredibly frustrating. You do everything strictly by the book, but human error still plagues the production floor or the office. I want you to keep that exact incident in the back of your mind as we go through today's briefing.
All right, here is tonight's rundown. We're going to cover the hidden safety threat, the difference between culture and daily climate, the leadership style trap, why authentic leadership wins, and finally, your safety assessment checklist. Let's just get right into it.
Section 1. The hidden safety threat. What is really behind these errors? Look, we all know modern management is incredibly stressful, and we desperately, genuinely want our teams to go home safe at the end of the day. But we often mix up culture with climate, and research from the Campbell Institute shows there's a completely critical difference here. Your organizational culture, that represents your long-term, deeply rooted beliefs. It literally takes years to build. But your psychosocial safety climate, well, that is a daily, tangible, situational snapshot, and it fluctuates wildly based on immediate pressures, today's heavy workload, and exactly how management is behaving right in this moment.
So, getting the definition of this climate right is absolutely crucial. Psychosocial Safety Climate, or PSC, is basically an organization's priority for protecting workers' psychological health, and it's done through the daily implementation of policies, procedures, and practices. Now, as an HR consultant who advises executive teams just like yours, I can tell you for sure that trying to measure some vague 10-year organizational culture, it's honestly like trying to catch smoke. But measuring your daily climate, that is totally tangible. It's highly objective, and honestly, it is the ultimate leading indicator for preventing both psychological and physical hazards.
The foundation of those norms is so important. The CPWR defines it as shared values and beliefs interacting with organizational structures to produce behavioral norms, basically the way we do things around here. But here's the kicker. It is an employee's daily perception of these norms that actually dictates their safety behavior. If they feel unsafe speaking up today, your fancy 10-year culture document literally means nothing. So we really need to look at what actually drives this daily perception.
Moving to Section 2, the leadership style trap. Let's shift gears and analyze the prime suspects in our daily operations.
Reviewing a landmarked multivariate study from Valpo Scholar, we've actually discovered a massive blind spot, and it's a real game changer. The leadership styles that are super effective at reducing physical injuries, like making sure hard hats are worn on site, they actually do not translate to protecting psychological safety. What works perfectly for physical safety can completely fail when it comes to protecting the mind. And the impact on this psychosocial safety climate is just striking. Passive avoidant leadership has a massive negative association. Literally, ignoring worker needs just instantly tanks the climate. But here's the shocker. Transactional leadership, which is an absolute staple in high-risk industries, has practically zero significant impact on psychological safety. Zero. Meanwhile, authentic leadership is the clear outlier here, showing a statistically significant, highly positive relationship.
Okay, let's break down this transactional leadership trap for a second, because let's be honest, we all fall into it. We kind of think that by relying strictly on compliance, strict rules, and rewards, we're keeping our people completely safe, right? But telling people exactly what to do and punishing non-compliance, well, that might stop a worker from bypassing a physical machine guard today. But what it utterly fails to do is prevent the psychological harm and that silent burnout that actually leads them to make a catastrophic human error tomorrow.
Which brings us to Section 3, why authentic leadership wins. This is the clear solution. So if strict rule enforcement isn't the silver bullet, authentic leadership is definitely the winner. A leadership style that's naturally rooted in ethical, genuine behavior creates this incredibly powerful cascade effect. It all begins with increasing leaders' self-awareness and self-regulated positive behavior. And when you model this, your followers basically assimilate it. It helps them actively process psychological stress, and this healthy processing drastically reduces the likelihood of human error across the board.
Because every single component of a healthy safety climate is completely interconnected. The data is absolutely definitive here.
Attaining high levels of psychosocial safety through authentic leadership, it's not just some soft HR initiative. No way. It is an absolute, non-negotiable prerequisite for advancing your entire organization's overall safety culture.
All right, Section 4, your safety assessment checklist. Let's actually take some action today. I am speaking right to you, right now. The executive, the HR director, you have the power to change the daily climate right now. You can serve as that supportive resource for your employees. So here are your 3 practical steps. Number 1, establish clear, uncompromising prevention policies for psychological harm. Number 2, self-regulate your daily leadership behavior. That means no more passive avoidance. And number 3, prioritize psychological health over operational pressures. Listen, if your team is too afraid to slow down a production line to report a hazard, your climate is failing them.
Okay, I actually want you to take a mental snapshot of this checklist right now. Seriously, this is your PSC leadership checklist. It's basically your micro reward for hanging in there with me through this explainer. Ask your management team these exact questions. Are workers afraid of retribution for raising concerns? Do leaders passively ignore growing problems? Are psychological hazards addressed as seriously as, say, a broken physical guardrail? And finally, is strict compliance rewarded over actual employee well-being? I want you to take this exact checklist straight to your Monday morning stand-up and demand honest answers.
But here is the chilling reality we have to face next. What happens when you do everything right? You build the climate. You practice authentic leadership. You check every single box on that list. And an employee still actively sabotages the team from the inside. Yep, the warning signs for intentional internal sabotage have finally been uncovered. For the Human Error News Network, I'm your host, and the very first red flag is actually something your top performer probably did this morning.